Hello guys, welcome back to our channel, The Bisector. Today the topic that we are going to discuss is about communication skills. So by this video, we will be getting a brief information about what is communication skills and how can we improve that and why it is important. In that way, we will be covering in a brief way. Okay, without any further delay, let's get into the topic. Okay, first of all, let us start from the very basic point, that is, what is communication? Communication is a process of exchanging information between individuals and groups. In that way, you have to understand, maybe if you are calling your father or mother and talking with them, it is also considered and it will be also coming under this communication skill. Also, this communication skill is considered as a soft skill. So it is very important. As you know, if you are a BTech student or if you are a scholar of BTech or something like that, you will be knowing how much important the soft skills. So maybe it is very important. And also, we have made a video on this skill development and all those things. And also in that video, I told and we are talking about what is skill and in which what are the different types of skills and all those things. If you didn't watch the video, visit to our channel and just check it. If it is somewhat, I will be also giving it in description. Just check it. Okay, let's get into the topic. First of all, as I told, what is communication? So in that way, you have to be very clear. And this communication skills plays a major role in your working place. Why? Because if you know how to communicate with a person, maybe talking in the sense everyone will talk, but the right way of talking is very important. That is comes under the communication skills. When you're having the right communication skills and if you are having a good communication skills, it will be very good at your workspace or workplace. It will be very good. Try to understand and try to improve and try to focus on your communication skills. Why? Because when you talk to someone, it should be, if you are schooling also, it should be very so much pleasant or something like that. We should not wantonly or without knowingly or knowingly, we should not hurt certain persons or every person. In that way, if you're having a good communication skill, you can go through it and it will be very good. Now, let us see how to develop our communication skills. So, it is very important to focus on our communication skills and also how to somewhat develop those kind of communication skills. So at first thing that you have to know is be precise with your words. By somewhat being precise with your words, you can develop communication skills. Why? Because when you somewhat telling anything, if you tell in very detailed way, it will be very good. Rather than telling, okay, that is this, and if you're telling a big story, then in that there is any small sentence or a small line which you wanted to tell, it will be not good. Why? Because maybe there are such kind of things which we have to elaborate and which we have to tell in a understand way. So, but somewhat in many things there is no need of telling in that way. Rather than telling in that way, you can tell in a very precise way, like how they will understand and all those things. In that way, it is very important to be precise with your words. Otherwise, people may think, why this boy or why this girl or why this person is thinking or going very deeply about the thing. They can explain or he can explain or she can explain in a very somewhat precise way, in good way, and like that they will be thinking. So you have to be precise with your words. The second thing is listen like a leader. Why? In the sense, if you are having a speaking skills, it is in one way, but if you are having a listening skill, it is very important. The listening skill is very important. Why I'm telling this in the sense, speaking in the sense, maybe you will speak or someone will speak what they know, what they want, maybe by seeing the script or maybe by preparing, like that they can speak. But coming to listen, you should have some patience, you should have some presence of mind, then all these things are needed. So if you're having a listening skill, it will be very good. So I'm telling that listen like a leader. Why? Because when you listen only, you will be able to get the right information what the speaker is speaking. So maybe according to me, speaking is not that much matter, but listening, okay, it's also some kind of, it needs some practice and it is also one kind of difficult thing. Until and unless if you practice, it will not come. I'll accept that. But listening in the sense, compared to the speaking, listening is somewhat difficult. Why? Because you will be sitting at one place and you have to listen and you have to grab and you have to analyze the things which the speaker is telling or someone is telling. So if you are mastering or if you are focusing on listening, it will be very good, and generally the people what they're speaking, you can understand whoever may be the person. Also, you have to observe the body language. So body language. So why is the body language important? In the sense, 80 to 90% somewhat, if you focus on body language, you can able to sense or you can go through the person's what you call point of view and all those things. So it is very important to observe the body language and the tone and the bass voice and all those things. This all will come under this listening. So it is very important to listen. So somewhat it is one kind of weapon which you can master a communication skills. Also, the third thing is confidence. So if you are not having, until and unless if you are having confidence, you can't be you can't somewhat able to communicate in a proper way. So I know something in my mind, lot of things are there, I know how to tell and how to express. Until and unless if I'm confident, I can't express the same thing what is there in my mind and what I wanted to tell. So maybe you may experience, you know certain things, maybe at class the professor or teacher will tell something, you know the answer. Because of lack of confidence, you will not tell the answer or will not answer the some much question. In that way, it is very important to be confident. Whatever may be the thing, whatever may be the situation, if you're having something or if you know something, just somewhat stand up. It should start from this college level or the school level. Why I'm telling this in the sense, if you go to a big company, anyhow at the end of the day or end of the moment, after completing your graduation, you will be going and working under a company, or in that way you'll be going there. If you're not confident, until and unless if you're confident, it will be not good. So in that way also you should be very confident, not confident. What I'm telling in the sense, it should be habituated, and you should develop all those things like how to master communication skills. In that way it is one of the some kind of main important thing. So in that way you have to focus. Listening to the video itself, you will not get anything or something, you will get some idea rather than some much. If you until and if you practice and if you implement in your life, or if you go in that way, you will be getting. Otherwise, by seeing the video itself, you can't able to get, you can't able to change, or it's not going to happen 100%. If you wanted to develop anything, if you wanted to learn anything, it is needed to learn. At first you have to listen, or you have to gain the information for someone, from some source, and then you have to practice and you have to implement. Before implementing and before practicing, you have to analyze. Okay, why the confidence is important, why the listening is important. Like that you have to concentrate, and in that way it is very important to go, and it is very important to focus on all the things. So now up to now we are discussing some kind of how to develop our communication skills. Now let us discuss what will happen if you do not develop, or if we do not develop a communication skills. What will happen in a sense, maybe the people will not be attracting, or they will be not understanding our words what we are speaking. As I told before, how much is there and how much knowledge I have, it doesn't matter. When I able to communicate, when I able to take all the words and trying to tell you, and if you are understanding, it is some kind of communication. Maybe I am telling something, and if you are not understanding, it's not good. So maybe at first no one is great, or no one is that much good as compared to now. Maybe at first I also somewhat struggle to somewhat able to communicate with the person, maybe in English, maybe in Hindi, like that. My mother tongue is Telugu, so in that way I can able to communicate. Why? Because it is my mother tongue, and in that way it will be very good. So it is the thing that you have to understand here is, this is learning stage. If it is me, or if it is you, so every day we had some kind of good chance and good opportunity to learn. So as a student, if I make a mistake, maybe at class, in the class or something, maybe classmates or our friends may somewhat laughing at us. So even though if you take it in a positive way, okay, at next time I have to perform better, like that. If you take it in that way, it will be very good. So don't bother about anyone. Whatever you know and whatever you wanted to speak, like, okay, analyze before speaking, and you speak and you express your words, then it will be very good. If you are not able to somewhat communicate properly, just go through your some kind of persons or some kind of friends who do not know your mother tongue. Then at least in my case, I do not so much. I only know the Telugu. So English in the sense, I know only few, as I do not know how I am speaking right now. So in that way, I used to speak and I used to somewhat focus on that. So I had done a better thing, like the person who would not know Telugu, like some persons, some of my friends, I went to them and talked. So there is only one language, something in medium is, that is English. Anyhow, if I talk in Telugu, they will not understand. They are such kind of Tamil people. If they talk in Tamil, I will not understand that much clearly, and I can't communicate. So in English we used to communicate, and literally I observed in myself some kind of English and some kind of languages somewhat developing. In that way, if we can also communicate, and you can also develop these communication skills. Communication skills in the sense, no need of learning only English, whether it is a Telugu, whether it is a Tamil, whether it is a Hindi, whatever may be the language. If you are speaking, someone should understand. And also, don't focus on vocabulary and some kind of words and sentence formation. Why? Because at first, if you are focusing, it will be somewhat pressurizing your brain, and it will be also not that much good. So in that way, don't bother about that at first. Just to try to speak whatever is coming, and if there anything, tell to your friend, please correct if any mistake is there, like that. So in that way, it will be very good. If you're not learning these communication skills, at one moment anyhow you will be going and you will be working in a company, or maybe if you are very interested to somewhat provide and planning to put a company, then also you need some communication skills. So in that way also it is very good. So if take a basic example, if you wanted to buy vegetables in this market, vegetable market. When you go and if you communicate in a proper way and good way, the person and the response also will be very good. So I personally experienced it. I once went to a market and somewhat I tried to buy some kind of vegetables. Then I communicated like there was one elder woman. So I called her as Amma. How much this Amma? Like that I communicated in a very good way. Like I wanted to develop and I wanted to try and I wanted to experiment. Then okay, take Nana. Like that her approach also very good. When I go with serious angle, how much this is, how much that is. If I ask, her response will be also in that way. It doesn't matter how much rich we are, how much great we are, but the way we communicating will somewhat will matter, and also they'll be judging in that way. So I do not feel it judging in that way it's wrong or right or another thing. So by in which way we are getting some response and all these things approach, all these things will matter now. So in that way it is very good thing. And also if you want to try these things, also you try somewhat when you go to shop or when you go to any place, just try to communicate with a pleasant way, respect everyone in a good way, and also communicate with very pleasant way, in a right way. Then it will be very good. If you follow these things and if you are somewhat lacking in communication skills or if you wanted to learn, follow these tips and it will be very useful. I hope by this video you got some information. And also if you found this video as informative, just share to your friend. Maybe for who you wanted to add some value, just share to them or share to him or share to her. So it will be very good and it will be useful to them also. In that way it will be very good. And thank you for listening and thank you for spending certain time in this video. Thank you very much. Meet you in next interesting topic. Thank you.